My friends, welcome to episode 50 of Prof and Dev Play Games. I am the Professor Larry, and over there is Anthony.
The developer. Woo, 50 episodes.
Oh my god, I know. It's like
I don't know how many I've done with you, honestly. How many did you do before I ever showed up?
Let's say half of them.
Okay.
Yeah. I'm going to assume that you've done half of them. And if not, you've done all the best ones.
There we go.
That's a good way to do it. So we are going to talk this week about the fact that we do have 50 episodes. That's going to be our off topic. We're going to start with a discussion of the Sony press event and talk about a bunch of Nintendo news, really, and a couple of Bethesda, or a piece of Bethesda news and a piece of Rockstar news. Then we'll get into what we're playing, and both of us are playing a fairly old game at this point and having a lot of fun. So why don't we start with that press event that happened on Tuesday in New York. Sony kind of hyped this thing up like crazy, and then we got the news. Do you want to run through quickly what stuff we found out?
All right. It's kind of what everyone expected. We got PS4 Slim, which went on sale Friday.
And it's just like the PS4 now, right?
It is just the internals model of PS4. Yep. The PS4s that we own will no longer be made.
Right.
And if you want one of those, it's they're $300 now? Yeah, $300.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And it's just the smaller version. Kind of expected. Sony does that every X number of years into a console life cycle. And then the other news was PS4 Pro, previously named Neo, I guess.
And did it knock your socks off?
No. Well, it added a third stack.
Yeah.
It's the Big Mac.
Yep, it's a big old hamburger.
I'm like, sure, whatever there. Actually, the reason why I didn't knock my socks off is, and I've been reading a lot about people who were at the event and got to play with it afterwards, like Digital Foundry especially, right. Is a lot of the stuff that they're talking about, 4K, HDR, my monitors don't do any of that.
We can't see it, exactly.
I'm like, nothing's going to look different to me because I'm streaming this on a 1080p monitor.
Exactly. Like, you're showing us all this great stuff or telling us all this stuff, and none of us can see the benefits because we're watching in 1080p.
Yep, and we don't have HDR TV monitors. It's like, There's nothing. I'm like, okay.
I was thinking, what's my MacBook is a Retina display, and I don't really know what that the pixel.
I think that would probably be that'd be dense enough. I think.
Oh, okay.
But the stream's not streaming at 4K. Although they did put up a 4K stream later, I believe.
They did, of the Mass Effect Andromeda, which I watched, and I thought it looked really good.
Yeah, even at 1080p, Andromeda looked really good.
Yeah, that's a fair point.
Yeah,
I
mean,
go ahead.
I don't know. It launches November 10th.
Right.
So I was a little off.
Year?
I didn't think it was going to be this year, but there it comes.
I'm just trying to figure out who that was for, like what that adds. I feel like the people who... Okay, so what I'm seeing from that is here's a beefed up PS4 where the visuals are really good, and I feel like the people who care about souped up visuals are PC gamers. Like, you get a PC for really great visuals. You play consoles for something that works all the time. So
I'm not really sure what... I mean, it's definitely marketed to the people who have 4K TVs and like that super high end. But I don't feel like it's the thing that... it doesn't replace the current PS4 or the Slim to me. Like...
And I'm thankful for that because I think I was a little bit hyped up before the event and thought that I'd probably plunk down some money on something. And after I watched it, I thought, nope, I don't need to upgrade at all.
Yeah. There's no reason to upgrade unless you have the hardware to do it. Or if a future game shows me that, like, oh, if you're at the Pro, this thing's going to look incredible.
Right.
But I didn't see anything like that would make me think, oh, I need this.
Well, like a game like Horizon Zero Dawn still looks pretty darn good on
OG
PS4. So, give me that game. Like that
footage looks so good.
Yeah, That and Mass Effect, both.
Yeah.
Those are the highlights for me, and I don't need a Pro for those.
I'm curious if Mass Effect comes out when it says it's coming out.
Doesn't seem likely, does it?
Pre-alpha gameplay. That's
Right.
what it said in there. And I'm like, okay, so we're in September. They have 6 months because they said they'd launch in March is the last thing that they put up. 6 months to go from pre-alpha to done. That doesn't happen usually in video games at all. At least if you want a polished game.
Yeah, it's not enough time to get this thing good and out the door.
So the only other explanation is if it is coming out in March, this footage is from a while ago. And they're just hiding. They've been very coy about a lot about Andromeda, so I could also see them doing that, just being like, yeah, here's some older footage, but we're not going to show you anything relevant to what we're doing now.
For such a high-profile release, I am honestly surprised there's so little news. I know N7 Day is when they've kind of said they're going to release a bunch of information about the game. But
I think in some ways it's just them trying to keep stuff contained from a don't let people start running wild with it yet. Keep people in the mystery of like what we know. It's not Shepard. That did get released. It's a brother and sister.
Brother and sister, right.
And so you get to choose to play one of them.
Well, and the cool thing about that, I heard some people kind of not thinking this was very cool, but as you're playing, say, the sister, the brother's somewhere else in the galaxy or the universe or whatever, doing things that kind of impact your storyline. So, I don't know. I think that's cool, and it also ups the replay value.
I think it's a fine choice. It's nice to know that they're also just taking at least a chance on the player character narrative a bit more.
Mm-hmm. Well, it does something different than Syndicate, which you could play as brother or sister, but you're on the same storyline. Yeah. For the most part, which was fine. But I mean, whatever. We're buying this game no matter what. So
yeah, I'm hyped. It looked gorgeous.
It looked really good.
I'm trying to think of other things. I see a lot of people online and original thought because it doesn't do 4K natively. It doesn't upscaling.
Right. It's that cross-hatching.
And they're like, and Microsoft, of course, has been bashing them for that. But I'm like, the Scorpio is not going to be able to do native 4K either.
I'm pretty sure. I thought they said that it was.
No, I don't think they said it's 4K. So this is Sony has said this is a 4K compatible thing. It will output at 4K.
Right.
The Scorpio, unless they're going to be shipping with, if they want to hit 30 frames per second in a console, they're going to need to be shipping with basically GTX 1080 like graphics capability in there. They're not doing that. It's almost certainly a Polaris based thing, the same thing.
Okay.
Unless they're jumping ship from AMD, which would be shocking to me because AMD's made basically every console graphics card since I can't even remember the original Xbox. Wow.
So long.
Definitely the GameCube stuff is all GameCube was and Wii were AMD.
AMD. Mm-hmm. Okay.
AMD's had a good hold. So unless they're going to ship with like top end PC graphics card right now,
right?
Like that's the only thing that can output 4K at a consistent frame rate.
And that seems unlikely,
yeah,
considering the cost for that box.
Yeah. So I'm like, it's definitely part where I'm like, I'm skeptical. They're going to be doing upscaling too, unless it's a very minimalistic low. Like I could see The Witness being at 4K,
right?
Because it's not
graphically
hyper detailed
intensive. Yeah.
Yeah. So I kind of roll my eyes when they say that because 4K gaming is just not a thing right now unless you're building multi-$1,000. You're spending $1,000 on a video card.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's a thing in the PC space when people are sinking the money into it, but that's not like a very many people kind of thing.
No.
And even the 4K TV in the living room. I mean, I think it's becoming the standard, but I mean, I don't know anyone with a 4K TV, and I think also, when I've seen, at least at Costco, when I go to Costco and look at like the 1080p screens versus 4K, there is a difference, but I don't think it's as big of a jump as from like Wii graphics to the PS4, for example.
It's not.
I just don't
honestly,
see how necessary it is.
yeah, the 4K stuff, I mean, it eventually will get adopted, but the problem is, in some ways, 4K is only really noticeable on bigger screens, 50, 55-inch up.
Mm-hmm.
Like 4K on a 40-inch screen, you won't even see much of a difference. And there's very few sub 50-inch 4K TVs. I was looking over the weekend just to see what was out there. And it's like, I don't even have room for, I have like a 42-inch. I don't have room for a bigger TV.
Yeah, your entertainment center.
Yeah.
It's like boxed in, so you couldn't have a bigger one.
No, it's at its limit.
Right. Mine sits on top, so we could have a huge TV if we wanted to, but we're fine with what we have.
Yeah.
And that's kind of what I realized after this conference, where I got really hyped, and I was kind of like, I'm content with what I have. I have more games right now than I probably will ever play in my life, or at least for a very long time. And it kind of made me second guess. I've been second guessing my PSVR pre-order. I'm not sure if I'm going to keep it or not. Especially if I have money for one, it's going to be the NX or the PSVR. And I was kind of hoping for something at the conference to sell me more on the PSVR, but there wasn't much.
No, they didn't really talk about VR much beyond that this will help in VR games.
Yeah, right.
Of course.
A more stable frame rate and stuff.
Yeah. Yeah, I would say I probably will have to second guess cancel my VR pre-order.
Mm-hmm.
Expenses are coming up that I'm just like, this makes no sense. I can't.
Yeah.
I shouldn't spend the money on that. There are other things I should be spending the money on.
Yep, that's exactly where I am at too. We're moving into the new house, and some of the plans we have for the future. It doesn't make sense to drop $500 on something that I'm not exactly sure that I want, especially. And I'm just surprised. Like, I just keep thinking about the NX, and like, if I'm going to buy one more big thing, one more gaming thing, I think I want it to be the NX and not VR.
The main reason the NX is on high on my list, honestly, is I want to play Zelda.
Uh-huh.
Breath of the Wild looks amazing. Everything I see of it more and more, I'm like, I want to play this game. Okay, I need an NX to play that.
Well, you could get it on a Wii U, but...
No, I need an NX.
Just saying.
The Wii U's fine, but I mean, this is also a thing. I would like to play it at, ideally, hopefully better graphics and...
Yep. And
I want to play it it's probably what it's intended to be played at.
Exactly. And fingers crossed, play it on the go.
That would be that, yes.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, I could play 3DS games in that. That'd be awesome.
If it was a backward, if the rumors are true, it's cartridge based. That means it could be backwards compatible with 3DS. Like, Nintendo, please give us information this month so that we can make our pre-order.
Didn't they say so?
I think it's been very strongly hinted, but I don't know if Nintendo has said for sure.
Yeah,
like the analyst said before the beginning of October. So
when is Tokyo Game Show?
I thought it was this week. But Nintendo's not at TGS.
Really?
Yeah.
Why wouldn't they go to TGS? It's like right there.
From what I heard, they don't usually go to TGS. Maybe
I guess they don't need to. They don't need
exactly.
to go to conventions. They can just do...
Right. Well, I mean, they might be there on the show floor, but they're not doing a conference or whatever.
Yeah.
Else, which is, that's a Nintendo topic. But in terms of the Sony conference, was there anything that...
Honestly, the games were the most interesting to Andromeda, Zero Dawn, Horizon. Both of those, I was like, I want those games now.
Yeah, God, Zero Dawn.
They both
look great.
I don't care about the hardware as much. I'm just like, I want one of these.
Yeah. Well, did you see that bundle today from Best Buy? The PS4 Slim plus Uncharted 4 plus the Sony Platinum headphones?
Yeah.
It was like... $300 for the whole thing?
Yeah.
And those headphones alone are $160. That thing sold out pretty quickly.
Oh, I'm sure. I mean, I posted the thing to you that even while we may not be as hyped on the Pro, it's selling like gangbusters on Amazon.
Oh, yeah. So that just goes to show either it's not for us, it's for new people.
Yeah, if you're a new person, just pick...
Yeah, absolutely. Although, $100 cheaper, you can get the Slim, and I don't know.
I mean, that's just a more thing. Like, that comes down to personal budget and what you're going to do with it.
Right.
But I would say if you have the $100 to swing, probably
grab
just get
the Pro.
Yeah, just get the Pro.
Right. I'm going to stick with my, what is it? What's the SKU is like CUH 1200 or something like that.
Yeah.
I'm going to stick with that one. That's good.
Yeah.
Anything else on the Sony conference?
No, just a little underwhelming to watch that stuff in a format I can't actually see the difference.
Oh, and how do you feel about the fact that it doesn't have the 4K Blu-ray drive?
I don't give a damn.
Okay, because you don't have a fucking TV anyway, so.
I don't do that. I have Blu-rays. I didn't even know there were 4K Blu-rays.
Right.
That's how out of it. I'm like, what the hell is this 4K Blu-ray that people are talking about? And I looked that up and I was like, oh, I guess it's a thing that very few people own.
Exactly.
Okay.
Yeah, this is for the boutique gamer, perhaps. I don't care.
Yeah, I'm like, I rarely even get physical media movies anymore. So,
which maybe is what Sony was figuring. That's why they said that you could stream in 4K, but you can't. The Blu-ray drive doesn't work for 4K.
And actually, Sony is a partial owner of Blu-ray.
Right, which
they get money off of every Blu-ray sold.
Right.
So it's kind of weird as a company. They're like, nah, it's fine.
Yeah.
I just don't think they care.
Yeah, right. And they're, making money hand over fist in terms of the PlayStation division right now. And I think they're pretty bullish on the PSVR, even though we're considering changing our pre-order. A lot of people are not. They're going to be all over it. So
yeah.
All right, my friends. After the break, we're going to come back and talk about some news. So stay right there, and we will be right back. All right, my friends, welcome back from the break. We have some real cool news to share with you. And the first one was maybe the biggest gaming surprise of the year.
So before the Sony event went on, there was an Apple event. Their normal second week of September. Apple always does an event, and they show off a new iPhone, which they did.
This one without a headphone jack.
Yeah, whatever.
God.
Of course. I knew that was coming. I upgraded my phone to the last version because I knew the headphone jack was going away.
Yeah, we're about to do that as well.
Because I like my headphone jack. I have headphones that I like, and I want to continue to use them. So
I would lose those wireless earbuds in 10 seconds. I lost them in the photo.
My cat would eat one.
Oh, yeah, definitely. But at the Apple event, we had a familiar face come on the stage.
We did.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
That was insane.
Boom.
I mean, I expected Niantic to be there, which they were. I just didn't expect Miyamoto to be the one that entered on stage when they started talking about games.
So, there is a game coming to iOS first in December called Super Mario Run. It's basically a runner game where you just tap to make Mario jump, but they take care of the running to the right automatically. And it looks rad. It looks fun.
It does. It actually looks like from the videos, a really good infinite runner.
Yep.
Although it doesn't look infinite.
It's not infinite. No, there are endpoints. I think there's an infinite mode. Not Toad mode or whatever it's called, but this looks like the killer app for Nintendo.
Kind of. This definitely pushes their strategy of mobile from Miitomo now to this. And then, we can tie it in with the next news, which is the Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem games are delayed into 2017.
Boo.
It's true, but I definitely feel like they're road mapping this out now.
Yeah, no, I think
like Miitomo. Okay, a simple Mario game. Now,
I agree.
Next year, a couple more mobile games.
Yeah, I agree that those two delays weren't because we're not ready. Although it's possible, but it's more about here's our mobile strategy. We're going to come out with the heavy gun in December, and it's just for a price. It's not in-app purchases or free to play. It's just here's for $14.99. That's what our game is worth. Here, buy it. And this is a game that wouldn't sell very well on consoles, even if it wasn't the momentum was automatic.
Yeah.
But they're going to sell so much on iOS, especially if it's at the right price point.
Yeah.
I'm going to buy this day one. Absolutely.
Oh, so will I. Why not? It looks good. It looks like a Mario game.
Yep.
Clearly they're using the assets from New Super Mario.
Yep. New Super Mario Wii U.
Yeah. It was shocking, though. I was not expecting that at the Apple event.
I loved listening to or reading through the tweets or whatever as it was happening. It was like, Shigeru Miyamoto's up there and some guy is translating. Like, some guy? That's Bill Trinan. That is not some guy. But I'm like, oh yeah, I guess not a lot of people know who Bill Trinan is.
Yeah. Like, who is this?
Oh,
what's
man.
happening at our conference?
Right. Well, it's just Mario. Like, okay, so Mario's going to be on the biggest gaming device on the planet. Like, there are more iPhones out there than any console.
Yeah, by far.
So that's pretty rad. And then it's going to be Android next year, 2017.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm excited.
Yeah. So Nintendo stock went up, what, 8%?
25%.
Oh, wow. By the end of the day?
Mm-hmm.
Wow. Oh, there you go.
Yep.
And Nintendo's actually getting all this money. So.
Yeah, this is Nintendo.
Yeah. And I guess Niantic did come out later, and they're doing Pokemon Go stuff for the Watch.
Oh, cool.
So you can be walking around and use the Apple Watch, iWatch, whatever, to interact with the game in simple ways without pulling your phone out.
That makes sense.
Yeah, it's... And they also said that Pokemon Go has been downloaded 500 million times.
Oh my god, that's crazy.
500 million people have tried that game, have downloaded it to their phone.
That's crazy.
That's ridiculous. That's insane.
That's insane numbers, absolutely. And even if Nintendo's making a fraction of that money, that's still a lot of money.
Yeah, I can see why the Sony exec was saying things have changed.
Yeah, and that's good. I want to see more IP, more engaging IP in more places. I think that, I know that people who are real gamers like playing games, and they'll play them wherever they are as long as they're fun.
It's true.
So.
And, yeah, I'm a total example of that.
Yeah, you're playing where the games are. I mean, you don't have an Xbox, but you don't really need an Xbox.
Yeah.
Especially if you have a PC with their new strategy. If there is a game you like, you can just play it on the PC.
Yep.
Speaking of that, I can't wait for Recore. I have pre-ordered that game.
It looks really cool.
Yeah, I'll let you know.
It turns out to be good.
I hope so too. The incentive was too good.
Thematically and what they've shown, the aesthetics of it and everything, intrigues me a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, crossing fingers, hoping it's
well,
good.
is it? Okay, so I pre-ordered the disc because you got like a $10 credit on Xbox Live. So, $40 game, $10 credit. I'm going to buy a couple more games on Xbox this year, so it made sense. But I wonder if it comes with a code to play on the PC, just like the Quantum Break did.
I don't know if that's how it's gonna work anymore.
Yeah,
because they're doing whatever they call it, the live play. I don't know.
Yeah.
What was their term?
Buy now, play anywhere, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I doubt. I think it's probably just going to tie it to your live account.
Yeah,
and then just allow you to have both versions on your account.
That would make sense.
If they give you a code, that'd be bizarre. But
yeah. Well, if they do, I'll give it to you.
Yeah.
You're welcome. One more thing about the apps. The IGN article here about the delay actually does say from Nintendo, based on a variety of factors, we felt it was most appropriate for Super Mario Run to launch ahead of these other two apps. Yeah. So Animal Crossing and Fire Emblem are going to launch toward the end of the fiscal year, which ends March 31st, 2017. Yeah.
Which isn't shocking to me. They're just...
No, it makes sense.
Again, they're just... I don't know if they didn't expect the Mario game to be done as soon, or they just decided, like you said, to launch with their biggest IP. Like going like, you know what? We're going all in on this. Let's put a Mario game there.
And give people time to play it and like it and say, well, Nintendo apps are good, so then, here's another one, let's try that one out. And then I feel like if they're smart, like kind of, I don't know, breadcrumbs to the NX. Like, here's Mario Run, and then here's Animal Crossing, here's Fire Emblem. Oh, by the way, you can play these games on NX too. and here
Yeah.
it's launching in March, and here's an awesome launch lineup.
It's true. And then eventually, hopefully next year, a Zelda game on mobile.
That's got to be coming, right?
Yeah, if they're going to start digging into their IP like this, you have to imagine that we'll do a Zelda game at some point.
Right. I mean, they have the biggest mine of IP. They could just make so much money by doing this, and they're about to see. I mean, they already see with Pokemon Go, but with Mario Run, like just the straight. I'm gonna guess it's $14.99. Anything less than that is crazy.
Really?
I think $14.99 because I feel like you want to value your IP like where it's worth, like it's a valuable product. I can't see it being like a $4.99 game.
I could see it. I couldn't see it at 14. I mean, I guess Square does it.
Yeah.
Square is very much like, nope, $20. Enjoy.
Yeah, it's like $19.99, right?
I could honestly, but I'll be interested to see what they choose. I would say 10 tops, but they might try higher.
Yeah.
And they could get away with it probably. So
I could see as low as 10, but I think $14.99 is the sweet spot. I could see them trying $19.99, which I think is probably a mistake.
Too high.
Yeah, I think so too.
So
yeah. So the next piece of news came up from NeoGAF, and it was about Red Dead Redemption HD coming to PS4, Xbox One, and PC. And this was the rumor was kind of tied in that it would be announced at the PlayStation meeting, which obviously didn't happen.
No.
But do you think this game is still coming?
With all the HD remakes happening, yes.
Okay.
And they're selling well. BioShock Collection this week.
Yep.
Which seems to have a lot of hype around it.
And we get for free. Yay.
Yeah. I look at it, I'm like, well, these remasters keep selling.
Right. So they're going to keep making them.
Yeah, so I think with Red Dead, it's just a matter of time more than anything. Because unless they're going to give us a sequel, which that doesn't sound like any news on that front, really.
Nope, been dead silent, even though I'm sure Rockstar San Diego is making it.
Yeah, so I think a good way to give people something would be to just give them an HD version of it.
Yeah. It's, for as much as people like that game, that's not a remake that I would jump on just because, I'm plodding through on the Xbox One with the back compat, but it's okay. I don't know.
You're not really pulled into it.
Not really, no. So
maybe it was been overhyped for you.
I think that's unfortunately is where it's fallen into. Like some people, it's their best game ever, and I'm sure it was for the time, and it holds up well. It's not like it's a bad game. It's just boring. I just am bored when I'm playing it.
I'm actually wondering how that will be with BioShock.
For me?
Like, BioShock has been hyped. Not for you, just in general.
Oh, okay.
BioShock is a hyped up game.
Yeah, absolutely.
But
that...
It's a worthwhile. I'm like, yeah, I do think it's probably still a masterpiece of a game, but it's also a game from 2005, 6. So
Dang,
10
is it that old?
I think it's 9. It's 9 or 10 years old now.
Uh-huh.
So it's 2006 or 2007. I can't remember. It's more of the thing of I'm like, shooters have come very far in those 9-10 years. So you're going back and playing a shooter from a decade ago. How does that hold up, really? Story-wise, I think it's a masterpiece, but
right. The
mechanically, does it actually feel good still? Like, I'm hoping it does, and I'm hoping there's not that backlash against it going like, oh, why did people really like this? I'm like, because it's good.
Right. Well, when I loaded it up, I just wanted to try it out before the new versions came out, just to have some sort of reference point, and I had to stop myself from playing it. Like, I was really into it.
How far did you get from the start?
About 45 minutes or so, almost an hour.
So spoilers, people. So what would have happened? Were you so you went down into the? Of course, you were in Rapture at that point,
right? And I was in some building where there was a. Oh man, what was it? Was there some sort of guy talking to me or something like that? It was like a dream sequence or something.
Oh, right. Right.
Is that what it
Okay.
was? This was a couple
Kind of
months ago.
where you see like ghosts kind of
Yeah.
stuff.
Hmm.
Yeah, I mean that's if it's in there. Okay, I roughly know where you are. Um,
I think I got a little further past that.
there's a point where Andrew Ryan talks to you again.
I don't know if I remember that.
Okay, so you probably didn't reach. That's kind of like the end of the first.
Yeah, I didn't get to the end.
Section.
I did not get to the end of the first section.
It kind of bookends the first section.
Okay.
So yeah, that takes about 45 minutes, an hour to get into, and all right, at least it held up for you. That it was.
Yeah, I like the mechanics didn't strike me at all. To be honest, they weren't like Destiny, level.
Yeah.
But they didn't strike me that much. So
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I'll be very interested when you choose to sit down and play through that game again.
Gotta get through Mass Effect 3 first.
Yes.
I keep having so many things distracting me. I've got to get through Mass Effect 3. I love that game, but it fits and starts. Half an hour here, 45 minutes there. And just with school starting, I have not had much gaming time.
Well, then you had baseball games and a birthday.
Yep, baseball games, birthday, work, more work. And I don't see my wife during the week, so we hang out on the weekends, so I can't exactly, Yeah, slow but steady, I think. And then at night after work, I just want to sit on the couch and play a console game, like wrestling or Rocket League, something that's some, fun loop.
Something you don't have to invest
much
so
about.
much.
Yeah, exactly.
I know the feeling.
Yeah. Speaking of investing, Bethesda invested a lot of resources into their mods for Skyrim, the new one coming out, the remaster, and also Fallout 4. But Sony said no.
Yeah, this is from Bethesda. After months of discussion with Sony, we regret to say that while we have long been ready to offer mod support on PlayStation 4, Sony has informed us they will not approve user mods the way that they should work, where users can do anything they want for either Fallout 4 or Skyrim Special Edition.
So yeah. Sony put the kibosh.
Is honestly worried about rooting and all sorts of stuff that you can do once you start getting deep access into games. We see this historically. You could do weird stuff with consoles. Like, what console was it? There's like a certain game that came out. You could modify its save file to root your system.
Huh.
And it was just because this game just saved games improperly.
Mm-hmm.
It was bizarre, but...
Well, it makes sense from Sony's point of view. They don't want people cracking their security or whatever.
No.
But, okay, so I had a choice to buy Fallout 4 on Xbox or PS4, knowing that the mods are coming to Xbox first, but also knowing that they would eventually come to PS4. Yeah. So I chose PS4. I don't really play Fallout 4 anymore, but it would have been nice to experiment with like Macho Man Randy Savage skins or whatever, and now I don't get to, and it just kind of feels a little bit like false advertising because they said that I would be able to, but they didn't work this out beforehand. Like they were surprised that Sony would say no when maybe they should have known that ahead of time.
Yeah, it's kind of weird. I'm like, how much discussion did they have with Sony beforehand?
Mm-hmm.
That really was like, okay, let's get into the nitty gritty of what this would require and what we would require.
Seems like not much.
So, to me, as a developer, like someone in the trenches, I could see this being a thing where some exec says, hey, we're doing this. And the team doesn't lower down, doesn't know, and they just see it on a press. We're like, oh, we are? Okay.
Yeah.
I guess we're going to start figuring this out, and then they do, and realize that they can't do it, or they're not going to be allowed to do it.
I guess I don't understand why Microsoft is not worried about this stuff.
I don't know.
Yeah. Seems like it would be the same threat to their system.
Maybe they just don't care about the threat.
Yeah, maybe. Did you see that tweet from Major Nelson, Larry Herb?
Yeah.
In case you didn't see it, listeners, it was, well, you've been able to play mods on Fallout 4 on Xbox One since, May or whatever. So come on over, or something like that. They've been punching at Sony all week.
Oh, yeah. Which they should.
Yeah.
I kind of feel like this is kind of, with the Bethesda thing, is just a total he said, she said thing of, I don't know really what went down there and where everything broke down, but somewhere, probably at the executive branch, there was something didn't work out right. I don't know. It's this stuff. I mean, doesn't look great for Sony, but it also doesn't look good for Bethesda at all.
Yeah, I think it looks worse for Bethesda, to be honest, where it just seems like all along Sony has had this rule, and then Bethesda didn't really do their homework before they made this huge announcement.
Or they thought they could get around the rule.
Or exactly, we're Bethesda, you will do what we want. And Sony said, no, we're not going to do that.
Yeah.
And Sony has leverage there, so.
It's true. So it's kind of it sucks. I do get Skyrim Special Edition on the PC since I own
all the DLC.
Yeah,
that's cool.
I'm looking forward to that.
I only own the base game, so I'm not getting the free game, but that's fine. I'm still not through the base game, so I have too much to play.
I never got through the base game.
That's
not what I do in Elder Scrolls games. There's story.
Right.
Why do I care about story? I'm just going to explore.
Well, I think I was like 12 hours into the game. It was fun. But I am so schizophrenic when it comes to games anyway, so.
Yeah, I agree.
So the last piece of news here is about Koji Igarashi and Bloodstained, which was a Kickstarted game. They pledged $5.5 million to bring this Metroidvania to life, and it has been delayed to 2018.
It has. Yep.
And that's that.
I guess more than anything, they at least understand they said it now.
Right.
A year before it was actually going to... Because I think it was going to be late 2017.
Mm-hmm.
They're like, yeah, we're not hitting this year. So they figured it out early. But it's still another thing of going... These people, most people, it's really hard to figure out how long it's going to take to make a game. There's no science to it. So there you go. So expect delays. Kickstarters, big games get delayed all the time. Look at this fall. How many games got pushed out into next year?
Right. Even by big names.
It's not a science. It really isn't a science. And it's not just throw more people on a project, you're going to get it done. You can only have so many people working on it before those extra people do nothing. They don't improve efficiency.
Well, the interesting thing for me is that this was going to be a Wii U release as well, but this basically kills the Wii U release, right? Because Wii U's basically dead right now, and they're not going to release a Wii U game in 2 more years. No way.
Didn't a Wii U port Kickstarter just get killed? I saw it was the Vita and Wii U versions of.
Yes. What was that?
I can't even remember. I didn't back it.
Yeah, right. It was this week though. So yeah, Wii U owners getting screwed all over again. So that takes care of the news. I think Anthony's busily searching for that game that was shit canned from the Wii U and the 3DS.
I don't know anymore.
Or the Vita, excuse me. It was something that I can't remember what it was. So we are going to move on to what we are playing. Did you find it?
No.
Okay. So we'll move on to
there it is. Hyper Light Drifter.
That was it. Hyper Light Drifter. Yep. Wii U and the Vita version. Bye. I mean, those are dying systems. Sorry, Vita owners. With no PlayStation Trinity announced at the PlayStation conference.
Yep.
It's basically over. All right, so when we come back from the break, we will talk about the games that we are playing. So stay right there, and we will be right back. All right, my friends, welcome back from the break. We're going to talk about those awesome video games that we're playing. And Anthony over there is playing a couple of fun ones. 2 of them have nearly the same name.
It's true. So let's see. Starting out this week, played some more Diablo 3, just progressing through the season on the PC. Still having fun. I'm wrecking things. Holy cow. The set bonus that I have, I can 3-hit kill most.
It just feels so good.
It's so many things die so quickly. It's just loot explosions.
Yeah.
So that started out the week, and then sometime in the middle of the week, I started playing this thing called Pathfinder Adventures on my phone. So it's a iOS version of a card game that I own called Pathfinder Adventure card game.
It's based on the D&D setting?
The Pathfinder setting, yeah.
Yeah, Pathfinder setting. Yeah.
Which isn't D&D.
Oh, okay.
It should be clear there that history lesson on Pathfinder. So there was 3rd edition D&D and then 3.5 D&D. And then when Wizards did 4th edition, it was a radical change mechanically. Right. Paizo, the publisher of Pathfinder, who had done an adventure and made their own adventure stuff for 3rd edition, decided to use the open gaming license that 3.5 was under. So you could make whatever content you wanted. They used that license to just put out their own version called Pathfinder, which people tend to call D&D 3.75. They just continued that, basically is the continuation of that rule set, the D&D 3.5 rule set, into its own thing, where Wizards dropped it for 4th edition.
Right.
So they live in parallel. But so this is this card game version, deck builder kind of thing where it's kind of like light role playing, honestly. You have a character you play, and your life is a deck of cards. If you ever run out of cards, you're dead. But your deck includes weapons and allies and items, and you're just trying to do different adventures. So Obsidian actually made an iOS version of it. And it came out on the phone, and it was free. I picked it up, and I would not recommend it for anyone who doesn't know the card game already, because holy hell, it would be probably a couple of hours of trying to learn symbols and understand the game.
Oh, wow.
Because they do not do a great job of teaching it.
Right.
Only reason it works for me is I'm like, I know the game already. I've played the game plenty of times. So
right.
This is fantastic because I don't actually have to set up a board or shuffle cards. I just, hey, I want to play. And
you play online against other people?
It's only pass and play right now.
Oh, okay.
Multiplayer is coming in the future.
Cool. So who do you play with?
Just myself.
Oh, okay.
You can do it solo.
Got it.
And this actually makes it really good solo because I just control each character. I have 4 characters now, and
so it's like playing chess against yourself.
Kind of. You're not playing against each other. You're working together.
Oh, I see.
Against the game.
Got it.
So you're actually, it's a cooperative game. So
okay.
Playing it solo is just I'm just choosing the actions of 4 characters.
Right.
So
it's like you're controlling one big army.
Yeah, I've actually sunk way more time into that than I was expecting.
Dang, all right.
But I really enjoy that card game, and they gave it to me in a format that allows me to finish games really quickly.
Well, you're also proving what I said earlier, that gamers will play fun games wherever they are.
It's true. And then, as of yesterday, I went on to Battle.net and got you your birthday present.
Yay. Thank you.
And that made me realize, oh, hey, there's Diablo 2. Let's download this. And I downloaded it and the expansion and played. And played a lot today. And realized that Diablo 2 is still a really good game.
So good.
Really good game.
How far did you get today?
I'm in the monastery.
Okay.
I'm at jail level 1 right now. So...
Are you playing as a necromancer?
No, assassin.
Oh, okay.
I do like assassin, but I'm doing a monk build assassin, which is very trap. It uses Death Sentry and Phoenix Strike. It's a mix of martial arts and traps, so it's like very AoE, just bombard things.
Yeah.
Eventually, if I get there. I'm just shocked at how... Yeah, graphically, I did get it set up using what they offered in patch 1.14, the Glide, which was back in whenever that game came out in 2000, I think. That was 3DFX is 3D technology. Which the game used. So if you had like a Voodoo 2 video card,
oh my god, I remember those.
You could turn on Glide, which was their 3D API, and it would have better lighting and better 3D-ness, even though it's a 2D game. But people have made a modern wrapper so that you can, specifically for Diablo 2, so it will wrap the glide calls. You can turn glide on in Diablo 2 and it will map it to OpenGL for modern video cards. And I did that and it runs great.
Awesome.
And it puts it on my full screen on the monitor, not stretched. And it's 800 by 600, but yep, that's the game. You just accept that. But mechanically, oh my god, it's so good. I cannot believe how good it is still all these years later. I mean, I would love some of the convenience stuff from Diablo 3.
Yeah.
Like picking up gold. Like just being able to walk over gold and get it picked up.
Right.
Little things like that, just convenient stuff. But
and stacking things. Stacking
gems. Oh my god, I'd love to stack gems.
Yep.
It's the little things like that definitely make it older, but the actual like combat gameplay just holds up really well.
Yep.
And you fear that you're going to die, unlike Diablo 3.
Right. As you're mentioning, Diablo 3 is more like a power fantasy, but Diablo 2, you can die pretty quickly and pretty easily.
Yeah. Being at jail level 1, I actually have to strategically plan how I'm going to go into groups and when to run and not. And it's shocking how much harder Diablo 2 is than Diablo 3. So, that's what I've been playing, and I probably will play more Diablo 2.
Nice.
But I think that's all for my week.
All right. Well, I have started playing Diablo 2 as well. It was my birthday, and Anthony bought me Diablo 2 and Diablo 2 Lord of Destruction through Battle.net. So I opened up my phone last night coming back from comedy, and I was very excited. So I put it on the computer today and started playing. I was just going to load it up and just see how it looked, and then I just started playing. And the nostalgia I got from playing this game was unlike any other video game nostalgia I've ever had. Because like the sounds, the Rakanishu, one of the little red guys.
The music.
Yeah, the music.
Oh god,
right?
the music.
Mm-hmm. Every little sound effect was just like ingrained in my mind because I played so many hours of this game. And yeah, it looks a little fuzzy now, 800 by 600 and whatever, but it plays like a dream. I played for like an hour and I meant to play for 10 minutes. So that just tells you all you need to know.
It's a good game.
Yeah, it's great. I started as a druid because I actually never played as a druid. So I wanted to do something completely different. So I'm
what type of druid do you want to go?
I looked up some guides after I started putting a few points in. I'm going to go with the shape-shifting or whatever.
Okay.
I started with a werewolf right now, and then I guess I'll build it to the bear. People said that the wind druid is the best, but I kind of want to try shape-shifting.
I haven't done a druid. When my wife played some, she played a druid, but with all the animals.
Oh, nice.
All the animals.
That makes a lot of sense.
It's not shocking for her.
No, it makes total sense.
She's like, give me the thing that allows me to have lots of animals that follow me around. I'm like, okay. Right. And actually, It was really effective, too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I think that, I think any build that you do is suited to the game. It's just some are a little stronger than others, but you can beat the game with any of them, so.
Yeah, you totally can. It's more once you hit, like, Nightmare in Hell, that your builds really matter.
Right.
I did see that they have skill respecs now.
In Diablo 2?
Yeah. Akara has it. I think you get one per difficulty.
Oh, okay.
So you want to save them, but you can just fully
That's cool.
reset all your stats and skill points and rebuy.
Oh, that's awesome because I can go through doing the shapeshifting or whatever, and then later when I want to switch it to something else, I don't have to start a whole character all over again.
No.
That's good. Okay. So yeah, Diablo 2 is rad, and like I have so many things distracting me from Mass Effect 3, but this game, I'm going to play more of it. This week I also, after work, just like playing kind of thoughtless games, or is one way to put it, I guess. But just relaxing with just mindless games. Played a bunch of WWE 2K16. I'm still going through the showcase. I don't know if you've played any of these games, but they have the showcase mode where you basically play one superstar and go through their entire story arc throughout the years. So it puts you in the different matches that they've had. Okay. So it's Stone Cold Steve Austin, and I'm following, it's like 10 years of his career or whatever. I just love those things. And it's basically story mode for this particular sport game, which they are taking out for the next WWE 2K17 because they say no one plays them, which makes me sad because that's the only reason I buy these games. So I'm playing that. Yeah, it kind of sucks because that's why I buy them, and now I'm not going to because I don't need the updated roster and whatever. Yeah. But man, my cousin and I played so many of those kind of wrestling games as kids, so it's just something that's in my blood. And then I picked up Rocket League Rumble. I don't know if you've played the Rumble.
I have not.
Oh my god, it's so fun. It is so chaotic. You just every 10 seconds you get a random power up. You can shoot yourself toward the ball or freeze the ball in midair or get like super turbo or have a foot that punches other cars or kicks other cars or a fist that punches the ball. And it is just wacky.
I assume you don't know what other players have.
You don't.
So you're just like random stuff just happens.
Random stuff happens all the time, and it injects like a level of freshness into the game that I didn't think it needed, but it's just I can't stop playing it because it's just new and fun. And a couple other cars and maps or whatever, but that game just continues to impress. That is, I think, like my game of the generation. It's just funny because it's the one that I played the most and probably not the most technically impressive, but it's just fun. That is just like pure fun,
and that's what a game should be usually.
Yep, and they nailed it, that's for sure. And the last game I played, it was my birthday, so I said I'm going to buy myself a game that I have on my wish list, and the Talos Principle happened to also be on sale, so I could buy something for cheap. It was $10, and I kind of wanted something to scratch the Witness itch. Having been playing Picross on my 3DS, I've kind of been in the mood for puzzle games, so I picked up the Talos Principle, and it's basically a game predicated on the fact that you're this, I guess, cyborg who's waking up and kind of being tested, and there's a lot of philosophy and like meaning of life kind of storyline to this game, but the basic principle is you run around these little maps picking up these jamming devices, and you're jamming like the different obstacles in the world to progress through the little maze or map to get a sigil, and these sigils act like keys to open up new areas. And so each area has like more enemies, more obstacles, and you have to be smart about how you use the jammers. Like there's maybe 2 jammers, and you have to jam like 8 enemies, and you have to figure out in what sequence to do it. And it's just a 3D puzzle game. I think it was modeling itself off a Portal in terms of how you interact with the environment. A lot of people like it, and it's fun. So
I had some coworkers, ex-coworkers at PopCap that really like that game.
Yeah, it's smart.
So.
Yeah, it's really cool. Like interactions with computer terminals too. Like there's a lot of story to this puzzle game, and it seems pretty smart. And it makes me feel smart because I figure out the puzzle. I'm like, it slowly teaches you the language of the game, and once you get it, you get it. And like it took me like, I don't know, 20 minutes to figure out like the first 2 puzzles, and then after that, like I got the language, and then I just started whipping through them. Nice. So yeah, it felt good. So those are all the games that I'm playing. And when we come back from the break, Anthony and I are going to celebrate our 50th episode. So stay right there, and we will be right back. All right, my friends, welcome back from the break. This is our 50th episode, Anthony.
I know.
How crazy is that?
And it happened on your birthday weekend.
I know, isn't that great? What a weird confluence of events. So I started this podcast because I am someone who just likes to create things. I always have to have some project, and I kind of bounce from project to project, but just ever since I got back into gaming, I just read about video games all the time and play video games as much as I can and just love talking about them. And I figured I would just throw my voice out into the ether and just do this project. And it got made better when you decided to join. And it's really fun for us to have these conversations. You know, we've been friends since, oh God, how many years now?
So
since we were 14.
Now we're going to feel old. Yes,
yeah,
like
exactly.
Yeah, 14, probably.
So about 20 years, which is crazy. So it's given us an opportunity to kind of reconnect and talk every week, which we weren't for a while. That's really cool.
No, because we're both horrible, probably on that front. I know I'm bad at like staying in touch with anyone.
Yeah, well, and life gets in the way. We live on opposite ends of the coast, and you just get so busy with stuff. I mean, we stayed in contact. You've come down to my college. I came up to your college, and but we talk regularly now, which is really nice because of this podcast, and it's. We've been doing it together now for probably 25 episodes, I would say.
So I'm pretty sure the first one I was on was like beginning of January.
First one you're on was actually in December when we did the Game of the Year kind of recap. And it was just like a guest episode kind of thing. And we decided, why don't we just do that permanently?
So, I mean, we're 9 months in now.
Yeah. Yeah.
No, it's been good. I've been having a lot of fun. I haven't think I said anything too stupid that's been inflammatory to other developers or gotten me blacklisted on anything. So that's good. I appreciate not shooting myself in the foot.
Well, and you've helped moderate me because I think before I would just mouth off, and now I'm there's two of us now. So so what I say impacts you as well.
It's true. It's fine. More than anything, I like just being able to. It's nice having with this the perspective of you, someone who's very much plays the games and doesn't have a lot of the internal knowledge of how the industry works or how things are made.
Right.
And I can hopefully give some insight into why decisions are made how they are or not. Because, man, I don't think there's enough. A lot of people they consume their media, how they're going to books, movies, games, but they don't really understand how it's made. Which, hopefully, by me doing this and bringing some perspectives, gives people some idea that there's a lot of factors that go into how things are made, and there are reasons why games get delayed or they don't have features that you would expect. And you don't hear that a lot from the general gaming news. Like, they don't want to cover that. They'll cover the delay, but they won't really ever give the benefit to the studio going like, yeah, that should have been delayed, or it's probably delayed because of this or that. It's rare.
Yeah, we definitely get hyperbolic statements when these things happen. And I really appreciate your perspective and the weight that you bring to the podcast where, I can kind of just talk as a fanboy, or not a fanboy, but a fan of video games, but you actually know what the hell you're talking about.
Kind of. As much as anyone can, because I don't believe anyone... I have knowledge of how the sausage is made, so to say.
Sausage.
Yeah, I know. Maybe tomorrow I'll have sausage for lunch. But you don't get a lot of that. There's a few sites out there, some press that do it, but I don't think that's really in the mainstream, unfortunately. People don't really care. They don't want to know. They just want to consume.
Right. Well, it's fun to also speculate make educated guesses. I think that my prognostications would be just out there, and you help ground those, and add some reality to what we're talking about. And it's just fun to just kind of geek over games, and they bring a lot of joy to both of our lives, and it's fun to share that with the audience, of course, but with each other.
I'm happy that you're back in getting to play them.
Oh, me too, man. I didn't realize being away from them for so long how much they mean to me. Just like I grew up playing games, and they're like, that's a hobby that I'm never going to give up.
Yeah, I think that's big for our generation.
I think we're the first generation really to grow up and still play video games.
Yeah, because I know most people from our generation still play in some form.
Yeah.
I mean, even random people from high school that friend me on PlayStation. There's a few
Really?
that I'm just like, whoa,
Huh.
okay.
Interesting.
I mean, they're playing very mainstream games like Call of Duty and
Right.
a couple sports games and things like that, like the big AAA. But I'm like, still playing games.
Well, I feel like that's how a lot of people consume games on consoles, at least. Like, they buy it for the Call of Duty and the FIFA or the Madden, and that's about it.
Yeah, that's what
fine.
it is.
Yeah.
And, but it shows how much they're just part of culture now.
Right.
Especially our generation. Just like, yep, that's games. That's just another form of media.
Right. Yep, another form of entertainment.
Yep.
And a pretty economical one, I would say.
Yes. It's a lot cheaper to buy a game overall than just paying the $15 to go see a movie.
Yeah, right. For, money per hour kind of formula, which doesn't always equate, but...
We're playing Diablo 2 again.
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure it's the amount of time, the hours that I've put into that game over 16 years now. It's pennies per hour
right.
that I've actually put into that game.
Which is why I am totally fine with a game like Bound that I play for 2 hours and spend $15 on, because there are games that I spend $40 on and play for hundreds of hours. So
yeah.
It's just
not every game needs to be that.
It doesn't, and I'm actually drawn more towards short games right now because of my time limitations.
Yep.
So I appreciate all types of games, which is nice.
It is nice.
Yeah. Well, I want to thank
congrats.
you. Thank you.
Us.
Yeah, congratulations to you and to us for making 50, and I hope to be here for many more 50s.
That'd be great.
Yeah,
So
that would
let's
be
see.
fantastic.
52. So 1 year for you is roughly into this month.
Yep, because I started right before October, so that makes sense. We're kind of the thing that finally got me to do it was the IGN guys, the Podcast Beyond guys, who started Kind of Funny. It was like their second or third podcast, and they're like, if you want to do something like this, just do it. Just do it. And I was like, okay, so I'm just gonna do it.
That's kind of that's a very similar thing to whenever I get people to say, I want to make games, what do I do? Like, make games.
Yeah.
Like, I can point you to some resources to start at, but you don't need to be paid to make games.
Right.
If you don't want to program, make pen and paper games.
Mm-hmm.
Cut up some paper, write some stuff on some cards. Go. Just take a deck of cards. You can make your own game out of a deck of cards. But it's definitely, with making a podcast, if you want to do something, just do it.
Yep.
There's very few limitations to what you can do, honestly.
Well, and with the internet, it's really easy to disseminate.
Yeah.
Write an ebook and put it on Kindle, or make a podcast and put it on Libsyn. You can just, make a webcomic and buy a domain.
Yeah.
It's kind of limitless. It's up to you deciding that you actually want to do it. Like the Peace Corps, for example. People always tell me when they find out that I did Peace Corps, oh, I always wanted to do Peace Corps. And my response, which my wife I think hates, is, yeah, so did I. You just fucking do it. You just do it. You want to do something, you do it. And that's it. Stop talking about it. So if you're listening to this and you want to do something, just do it. Unless it's killing someone. Don't do that.
Yeah. Within reason.
Within laws.
Respect laws, please.
Yeah, and respect people's lives.
Yeah.
But if you want to create. We need more creation in this world.
Yeah.
I was at church last week, and there's a sermon about anxiety, which hits me pretty hard. And I was talking about this book called The Artist's Way, and how people develop anxiety right around the same time that they stop being creative. If they start feeling like they're being judged by peers or other people for their art, and then they stop, and then the anxiety comes in. So just ignore the critics and just make your art, and
it's true.
Be you.
I agree.
Thanks for helping me be me with this podcast. I'm looking forward to many, many more with you.
So am I.
All right, my friends, thanks so much for joining us for episode 50. Next week, we will come at you with episode 51, and I pray to God we'll have some NX news for you, but probably not.
Probably not. Yeah. Maybe some stuff out of Tokyo Game Show.
That'd be great.
Some interesting news there.
Yep, I would love to share some of that. All right, my friends, enjoy your week, and we will see you next weekend.
Later.
Later.